Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another session on polity and constitution. I hope I'm audible as well as visible. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon. Great. We'll wait for others to join and then we'll begin our discussion for the day. Okay, so let's begin now with a quick recap. So, in the previous class, we had taken up for discussion the topic precedent. We saw the legislative powers on Saturday. We saw ordinances, veto powers that the president has, suspensive veto, pocket veto, absolute veto, and then the position of the president with respect to the Indian constitution and the importance and the need for us to have a president. Then we saw vice president, right? As far as VP is concerned, again, the important elements being the removal procedure, as well as the fact that the VP is basically the chairperson of the Rajya Sabha. Then we saw the cabinet, the Council of Ministers, largely all the provisions or all the clauses of Article 75, 1, 1A, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then some other issues pertaining to the cabinet, including things like size of cabinet, checks on cabinet, etc. Then we saw the cabinet committees, 8 such committees, a lot of them chaired by the Prime Minister. Then their advantages, their challenges, etc. We also saw the Attorney General, that is Article 76, provides for this constitutional body called Attorney General. Then we saw the topic Parliament, and when we began a discussion on Parliament, we began with the two houses, the Lok Sabha, the Rajya Sabha, the membership in the house, the election procedures, so on and so forth. Then we saw the members, how members qualified, how members disqualified. Yes, I know Rahul Gandhi has been disqualified, right? Some of you must be happy, some of you must be sad. We'll see under RPA what exactly is the section under which he has been disqualified. That is basically section 8, subsection 3 of RP 1951. And whenever, basically just to summarize that very quickly, if any person, any sitting legislator, MP, MLA, MLC, is convicted of any offense where the punishment is more than 2 years. Now, there are certain cases where you don't need to be punished for 2 years also. That is separate, some specific cases. But otherwise, under normal laws, if you are punished with a jail sentence of minimum 2 years, from that very date of the conviction, you are disqualified for the jail term and 6 more years. So it's total of 8 years of disqualification, right? So yes, it can be done under the provisions of Representation of People's Act 1951. There is one section 8, subsection 3, which deals with this provision. And of course, Article 102 also says that any law made by Parliament, if it allows for disqualification, then you will be disqualified. That is why the moment the court's verdict came, at that very instant, the information was transmitted to the presiding officers, and then the Secretary General issued a notification to disqualify the member of the parliament, Mr. Rahul Gandhi. Now he'll challenge the particular decision in the High Court. Let's see what happens in the High Court, etc. So that is where in future uh, we'll see as to how things unfold. And he has been held guilty of something called defamation. When we study fundamental rights, Article 19, Clause 1, Subclause A, I'll explain about defamation. Okay. Now, we also saw then office of profit, then some other elements like vacating of seats. Now, the seat has been vacated in Wayanad, so we'll need to have fresh elections in Wayanad, right? Because the MP from there has been disqualified. Then we saw the presiding officers of both the houses, the bosses of both the houses, the monitors of both the houses, the speaker and the chairperson, their powers, their functions, election, removal, all such things. Moving on to the voting in the parliament. So we have absolute majority, effective majority, simple majority. Then two special kinds of majorities in Rajya Sabha only, that is 249 and 312. Then a special majority for impeachment of president, Article 61. And then one more special majority, that is under Part 20, Article 368, that is the amendment to the Indian Constitution. So that's all that we have seen. Beyond that, we saw motions, various kind of specific motions. We saw parliamentary proceedings, question hour, 0 hour, half an hour discussion, all such things. And we finally started the debate or discussion on the annual financial statement, that is the budget. So it's how the budget is introduced by the finance minister, then discussions take place, the budget is sent to some committees for discussion, and that is how we have the passage of the budget. Now, we had discussed on the elements of discussion and sending it to parliamentary committees, including discussion on voting on demand for grants and closure motion. What was left was to discuss on the appropriation bill and the finance bill, right? That is what remains. So I hope you have revised thoroughly and properly. And before we begin our class, we'll have a quick discussion on a couple of practice questions. Let's see some easy questions. We'll begin our discussion today by solving some questions only, prelims based questions, which is based on this belief that you have been revising properly. Okay, so you know the deal. I'll give you a minute, solve, mark the answer, and we'll proceed accordingly. Okay, so beginning our discussion with the very first question. Solve this question. A minute of time. Is the audio there now? Am I audible now? Okay. Fair enough. So, as I said, the first statement on the dissolution of the Lok Sabha, although the Speaker ceases to be a member of the House, he or she does not vacate his or her office. So, this statement is actually correct. Why? Because the Speaker continues to remain in the office till the newly elected Lok Sabha. One is correct. These two can't be the answers. Fair enough. Then the deputy speaker is directly responsible to the speaker. No. Deputy speaker will be responsible to the house. Why will he be responsible to the speaker? No. The house elects a deputy speaker. I believe this was also a statement in your mock test question, the weekly questions. So you should have solved that correctly. Anyway, the deputy speaker is responsible to not the speaker but the house. So 2 is incorrect, hence A1 only is the right answer. Okay, move on. Second question, I'll give you 30 seconds. Easy, straightforward. Okay, so again, a lot of you are not marking the correct answer. Let's see what is the correct answer. Of course, B is the right answer. Which of the following statements is or are incorrect? I believe you may have ignored this very important element of incorrect, right? So seats are allotted to the states in Rajya Sabha on the basis of population. Of course, that is correct. The statement is correct. We have to find the incorrect statement. A person should be not less than 25 years of age. In the Rajya Sabha, the cutoff age is 30 years, right? Guys, just give me a second, please. Okay, so as I was saying, the guys, as far as the pen thickness is concerned, I am also still struggling because there seems to be some issue with the that particular area. So the thickness is not changing, I understand. So please bear with me, right? That should not be the biggest concern for us right now. We are trying to get it resolved. Anyway, so coming to statement 2, as I said, 30 years of age for becoming the member of Rajya Sabha, of course, is the right statement. So this is a wrong statement. 2 is incorrect. Number 3, a candidate contesting an election to the Rajya Sabha from a particular state shall not necessarily be an elector in that particular state. Of course, that's correct. The only qualification to be elected to Rajya Sabha is that your name should be in the voter list of any parliamentary constituency. I had mentioned this statement when we were discussing the vice president's election, that the president needs to be eligible to be a member of Lok Sabha. The VP needs to be eligible to be a member of Rajya Sabha. Both have exact same qualification, which means what? Which means that the person who wants to be elected to the Rajya Sabha, their name should be in the voter list of any parliamentary constituency. A very good example is the current finance minister, Nirmala Sitharaman. She is from Tamil Nadu, but she is as an MP in Rajya Sabha from Karnataka. So your name can be in the voter list, or you can be an elector in any parliamentary constituency, and you can represent any state in the Rajya Sabha, right? So 3 is also correct, which means 2 is not the right answer, and since incorrect was the choice to be chosen, hence B 2 only. Okay. Now next question. 30 seconds. Please mark your answer. 47% have marked the correct answer. Finally, more people marking the correct answer. Which of the following are members of the Delimitation Commission? So we know very well the Prime Minister of India and Speaker of Lok Sabha. These two are not the members. 1 and 2 cannot be the part of the answers. Remove this, remove this, remove this. You have the answer, right? Okay. Moving on to the next question. Quickly, 30 seconds for you. Okay, great. 48% marked the correct answer. Let's see. Consider the following statements regarding the first past the post. What is this first past the post? Whoever, remember in the case of Lok Sabha, we have a system called first past the post. Whoever gets the highest number of votes wins the election, irrespective of whether that is 50%, 60%, 70%, 20%, we don't care. Whoever gets the highest number of votes in a particular area is declared the winner. So in this system, each constituency elects one representative. Absolutely correct. The winning candidate in this system must secure more than 50% votes. Now, this is not a criteria. You may not secure 50% votes. What if there are four candidates A, B, C, and D? There are 100 votes. A gets 24 votes, B gets 26 votes, C gets 25 votes, D gets 25 votes. Who is the winner? Very simple. The winner is B. Whoever gets the highest number of votes is declared the winner. Okay, so this means statement 2 is actually wrong. Right answer is A, 1 only. Moving on to question number 5. I'll give you 45 seconds. Nitesh, more than 50% required in proportional representation. 26, 20, 24th. Amazing, amazing. So I'm not sure where you went wrong, but consider the following statements with respect to the removal of speaker. We are referring to incorrect statement, not correct statement once again. At least 1/10 members are required to give a notice to initiate the process of removal. For the removal of the speaker, no such procedure is there. This procedure is actually for whom? The president, wherein not 1/10 but 1/4 people are required to give such a notice. So I'm not sure where you got this idea. One actually is wrong. No grounds are mentioned in the constitution for the removal. Of course, nothing is mentioned for as a reason for the removal. Say in the case of president, what's the reason? Violation of constitution, that is mentioned. But for speaker, nothing is mentioned. So 2 is correct. The voting for removal requires an effective majority. 3 is also correct. So 2 and 3 are correct. We have to find the incorrect statement. The right answer is A, 1 only. That was the 5th question. Moving on to question number 6. This is with respect to Article 249. 45 seconds. Please mark the answer. Okay, 32% have marked D as the answer. Great. Which of the following statements with respect to Article 249 of the Indian Constitution is incorrect? Incorrect. Rajya Sabha alone can authorize the parliament. Of course, Rajya Sabha alone can authorize the parliament to make laws. Authorization comes from Rajya Sabha, 2/3 of present and voting. This statement is actually correct. Such authorization shall remain in force only for 1 year at a time. Of course, this is correct. The parliament is not bound to make laws. As I had mentioned, it is not mandatory. The parliament may make laws, may not make laws. This is also correct. Laws made by the parliament under such authorization end as soon as the authorization comes to an end. No, 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 no. The laws end 6 months after the end of authorization, right? So, this statement is wrong. It is not as soon as, but it is 6 months. This means D is the right answer because that is a wrong statement. Solve the next question. Very simple, very easy. 45 seconds, sufficient time. Again, 25% got this answer correct. Let us see. Consider the following statements with respect to amendment of the Constitution. Constitutional amendment bills can only be introduced by a minister. This is a wrong statement. I had actually shown you a photograph, also a clip of some amendment bill introduced by, I believe, Manish Tiwari, who was a non-minister. And that is where I had explained to you a term called private member. So for the first time, we had come to see who is a private member only in that topic. So one is wrong. It can be introduced by any member of the House, minister or a non-minister. The president can only exercise his suspensive veto. I believe you know this is a wrong statement. No veto powers for the president. The 24th Amendment Act of 1971 makes it mandatory for the president to give his assent to such proposals, right? So far, less than 100 amendments. So, just to clarify this point here, we have seen 105 amendments so far. And if you remember, while we were discussing the topic Parliament, I had told you that the reservation for SC/STs has been extended for 10 more years through the 104th Amendment Act. If you had paid attention to that point, you'd have known that we have made more than 100 changes to the Indian Constitution. In fact, in the very first class, I had mentioned the same very point that we have made so far 105 changes. So 3 is also wrong. None of the statements given above are correct. Next question. Okay, more than half of you marked this answer correctly. That's amazing. Uh, Sessions of Parliament. So, adjournment terminates a sitting of the Parliament for a specified time period. One is correct. The power of the adjournment and adjournment sine die or sine die lies with the presiding officer of the House. Absolutely correct. Prorogation terminates both the sitting and the sessions of the House. Prorogation means what? Ending the session. So session, sitting, everything ends with prorogation. 3 is also correct. And dissolution is applicable in case of Lok Sabha only. We know Rajya Sabha cannot be dissolved. It is a continuing chamber, meaning the House continues forever. It is never subject to dissolution. So all 4 are correct. All of the above is the right answer. So, ninth question. 30 seconds of time. Okay, 30% mark this correct. A very simple question. How could you mark A and C as correct? Fourth schedule of the Indian Constitution deals with allocation of seats in the Rajya Sabha only, not the Lok Sabha. For Lok Sabha, it is mentioned under RPA 1950, the first schedule. So one is wrong. Remove these two. Both the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha have representation from all the union territories of India. That is also wrong. Rajya Sabha does not have representation from all UTs, only 3 UTs. That is Pondicherry, Delhi, and Jammu and Kashmir. That's it. So 2 is also wrong. D, neither 1 nor 2. Last question for today. Please solve this question. 45 seconds for you. Okay. 15% mark this correct. Okay. So let's see which other statements are not correct. Not correct? Not correct. It can only be introduced in the Lok Sabha. It's a correct statement. Money bills can be introduced only in the Lok Sabha on the prior recommendation of the president. So one is actually a correct statement. It cannot be a part of the answer. Remove this. As per the constitution, such bills can be introduced by ministers only. Nothing, I had clearly mentioned, nothing is mentioned in the constitution as to who will introduce this bill. But ideally, as a matter of practice, it is only introduced by ministers, not as per the constitution. This is a wrong statement. Two has to be a part of the answer. This cannot be correct. The president shall give his assent to such bill within 14 days. There is no time frame for the president to give assent to any kind of bill. This 14 days of time frame is meant for Rajya Sabha, not for the president. So 3 is wrong. This means that C or D can be the answer. Let's check 4. Of course, D cannot be the answer because D contains 1. So we have to remove D also. So C actually is the answer now. As per Lok Sabha rules, Rajya Sabha recommendations, even though not binding, must be tabled in Lok Sabha for discussions. When did we look at this kind of statement? Some random statement is there. As per Lok Sabha rules, Rajya Sabha recommendations have to be placed in the Lok Sabha. Nothing of this sort is there. There is no need to place any recommendation of Rajya Sabha pertaining to money bills in the Lok Sabha. Rajya Sabha has no power over money bills. Within 14 days, Rajya Sabha has to pass the bill. If you don't pass it, we'll assume it is passed. Right? So, of course, 4 is wrong. 2, 3, and 4. C being the right answer. Okay? So, that is there. I believe now that let us see the leaderboard. So, nobody got all 10 correct. Manish Kumar got 9 correct. Ankesh Rao and Deepak Zalte got 7 correct. Dhaval, Amardeep, Kishan, Yera, Ratnasari, Janitha, YS, Uday Kumar got 6 correct. Then we have Saurabh, Vipin, Akula Mahesh, Avani, Arundhati, Priyanka, Kshitij, Sachin getting 5 correct, and then others getting 4 or less correct. So very good, Manish, Ankesh, and Deepak. You also good work. 7 correct, and Manish 9 correct. Others now I would also point this out. Nothing that I had asked was something that you never knew, you had not seen, was out of the PPTs. Forget some book, out of PPTs. So I'm not really sure why mistakes were made on some very basic elements and aspects, like the procedure for money bill, procedure for amendment. So, what is important is to revise. On the first class, I had told you, please revise. So revisions are very important, right? It may not really matter how amazing the notes quality are. It may not really matter how amazing I may be, but if you don't put in the effort, this is how it is going to be. So anybody scoring 5 or more, pretty decent. 50-60% marks are pretty decent. But I would request you guys, please, revisions are very important. Anyway, so we'll do this exercise every Saturday morning. when I'll place 10 questions from the previously taught weekend topics. So we'll have this every Saturday. Okay, so now let's come back to our discussion at hand. Before our discussion, I also need to tell you the most important element for the day, that is the breaks. So our class will be from 12 to 8. That is the class timings. I'm not sure whether anyone is not aware of this. So for them, this is a class timing. Secondly, we'll have the lunch break at 3. 3 to 3:40 p.m. will be the lunch break. Then we'll have a tea break as well. Okay, we have the tea break from 5:40 to 6 p.m. These two are the standard breaks we'll have. And then intermittently, depending on how difficult the topic becomes, we'll take breaks of say 10 minutes. One break we'll take maybe around 140 to 150. 10 minutes of break. And second break we may take at around say 5 o'clock, or maybe 4:50 to 5. A small 10-minute break. That is going to be the system of our breaks for the day. Okay, great. So now, armed with this amazing information, let's move forward and continue our discussion on the budget. So in the previous class, just to bring you all in tandem with what was taught, budget has various stages: introduction, general discussion, the house is adjourned, and finally the houses meet. So during adjournment of the house, you have the discussions with respect to what? With respect to the budget only. The budget is sent to various committees where discussions take place. After the houses assemble, then voting on demands, cut motions, all these things, token cut, policy cut, etc. take place. Now, once all the demands have been accepted by the house, right, then what happens? Then the entire budget is brought again in the house in the form of a bill. That bill is called appropriation bill. This appropriation bill has two elements to it. Number one, this bill contains all the demands for grants that were voted upon by Lok Sabha. This bill also contains all the charged expenditure. Okay. This is collectively known as appropriation bill. Once this bill is tabled in the Lok Sabha, it is passed in Lok Sabha, it goes to Rajya Sabha, passed in Rajya Sabha, goes to President, he signs it, then the government gets the authority to take out money from CFI and invest in various schemes in the country. Okay, it is the passage of appropriation bill which allows the government to appropriate, to withdraw money from the CFI. So once passed, government can withdraw funds from CFI. Now, couple of important, like this particular appropriation bill, this time has already been passed in the Lok Sabha. Passed in Lok Sabha. I think on 23rd of March 2023, this bill was passed in Lok Sabha. Now, hopefully on the 26th, 27th of March, on Monday, Raj Sabha should also ideally pass this bill. They may try to create some kind of scene with respect to Rahul Gandhi, but ideally it will be passed in the Raj Sabha also. Anyway, Raj Sabha has nothing. They have no power only. Whatever drama they do is of no concern to us because this is a money bill, appropriation of money from CFI. So Raj Sabha has no power. They can do nothing about it. They can sit and cry and all, but it has to be passed. Now, this appropriation bill contains an element of charge expenditure, right? That is why this bill has to be passed in the House. Okay? This appropriation bill has to be passed in the Houses. You cannot, see, if you don't want to pass it, reject it, like in Lok Sabha. May be rejected, but of course, in the Lok Sabha, government has majority, so why will it be rejected? But you cannot make any amendments in this bill. No changes are allowed in the appropriation bill. I hope this point is clear. No amendments can be made. You can either pass it or reject it. So why will it be rejected in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha has no power? So this is what happens with the appropriation bill. Once it is passed, like say this year, on 22nd or 23rd, it was passed finally, and the government now gets the authority to withdraw 2.7 lakh crores. The exact figure I think is 2,70,509 crore rupees from the CFI. That is how it is going to be. Okay. So that is there. And again, the same old story. If suppose you may say, sir, whatever it is rejected in the Lok Sabha, if a money bill is rejected, then it amounts to no confidence. So we'll have the government has to prove its majority. Then they have to go for trust vote, right? Otherwise, it makes no sense. Why would a money bill brought by the government be rejected in the Lok Sabha, right? That's there. Okay. Now, the second element of the budget, this is all about taking money out and spending on schemes. But where is money coming from? The source of money, revenue. So the second bill is called a finance bill. What is this finance bill? Finance bill is basically a bill which is introduced to give effect to all the financial proposals of Government of India. So basically, it contains taxation and revenue proposals. Any way in which the government can get money is what is there in the finance bill. So the income tax, the corporate tax, of course, the GST is the highest uh, of the highest value when it comes to revenue proposals, followed by income tax and corporate tax, which is roughly the same amount. So with respect to taxation, so let's say we pay some income tax, right, on our income. Every year that particular income tax has to be approved by the parliament. Only then can the government impose tax on us. If it is not approved by the parliament, then the government cannot impose tax on us. So every year the income tax is approved, and then the government keeps on harassing us by taking income tax from us. Okay, so that is there. Now, one more important element. This particular finance bill can be amended also. Can be amended, rejected, or passed. So basically, it can be modified. For example, just yesterday, on the 24th of March, this finance bill was passed in the Lok Sabha, and our finance minister made lot of amendments in this particular finance bill, changing some, modifying some tax rate, etc., like the securities transaction tax was increased, I believe, for option trading and all. So all these things were done. So this time passed in Lok Sabha on the 24th of March 2023, and it also has to be passed in Rajya Sabha. Hopefully on the 27th or 28th, this will also be passed in the Rajya Sabha. It's a money bill. Rajya Sabha has no power. What can it do? It has to pass it like a nice, nice people. They have to approve it. Once the finance bill is passed, the budgetary exercise is over. Passage of finance bill completes the budgetary exercise, meaning the budget is now passed. This is what is a budget, and this is how it is approved in the parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. And of course, signature by the president, who cannot send it back. You know very well, it's a money bill, and for money bill, the president has no suspensive veto whatsoever. Okay. Now, just to bring to you some kind of terms that we may find for the budget. First things first, vote on account. Now see, for now here we have passed the appropriation bill, right, on the 24th, 23rd of March. Why? Because the government was only authorized to take out money from CFI by the previous budget till the 31st of March, because from the 1st of April we have the new budget, right? Now, what if there is some delay in the passage of the appropriation bill? What if there is some delay of 10, 15 days, 20 days, some war is there, etc.? What if the bill gets delayed in the passage and the bill is passed in the first week of May, 20th of April? Now, from the 1st of April to 20th of April, the government has no authority to take out money from CFI. Why? Because the previous budget only allowed the government to take out money till the 31st of March, right? But there is something called vote on account. So during the general discussion, the parliament approves 1/6 or 2 months of expenditure to the government in case there is some delay in the passage of the budget, right? Amount sanctioned by the Lok Sabha during general discussion till the budget is enacted. That is, in case of delay in passing what? In case of delay in passing the appropriation bill. And how much is the amount? Whatever the government has been demanding in the budget, 1/6 of the total expenditure. This amount is basically 2 months expenditure. That is 1/6 of total demand. So, at the very onset, some money is given to the government that if there is any delay in the passage of budget, please take this money, spend it. So for the month of April and May, the government is in no hurry. They have a lot of money, they can spend it on various schemes and programs, give salaries to people, etc., and can continue to function even if the budget is not passed or there is some delay due to any unforeseen circumstance. Okay. Now, one more question can come from you only. Right, sir, if this is basically happening for expenditure side, if appropriation bill gets delayed, then of course the finance bill will also get delayed. right? The taxation bill will also get delayed. What if the taxation bill gets delayed? What if finance bill gets passed on the 3rd of May? Then in April, no tax? Of course, that's not possible. So for such circumstances, where there's a delay in the passage of finance bill, there is already a law in the country. So in case of delay in passage of the bill, what happens? There is a law called Provisional Collection of Taxes Act. Provisional Collection of Taxes Act 1931. This particular law allows the government to collect taxes at new rates for up to 75 days till finance bill is passed. So basically for the next 2.5 months, the government is allowed to collect taxes even if there is a delay in the passage of finance bill. No problem at all. You keep on collecting taxes. There is no issue for 2.5 months, right? So that is there as far as these two provisions are concerned. Now, there are some other terms. You must have seen these terms under this topic, Contingency Fund of India. So back under Contingency Fund, I had told that there are some keywords which we'll explain during budget. So now, the time has come. What is supplementary grant? See, supplementary grant refers to money being spent if the amount authorized by the parliament becomes insufficient. For example, let us say, you know, our prime minister, he loves to travel, the perpetual truth seeker, wanderlust, travels here and there, right? Pulling kids' ears, playing drums, etc., building relationships, soft skills or soft diplomacy, right? So that is how he loves to travel. Now, let us say for the next year, for the travel of Prime Minister, rupees 500 crores have been authorized by the budget. But you know how frequently the PM travels? Let's say the PM has gone to some African desert and he's there in Africa, Kalahari desert, roaming here and there, enjoying his life. And suddenly this money is over. Then what do we do? The Lok Sabha or the Parliament had only permitted the government to spend 500 crore rupees in the budget. Amount authorized, that is 500 crores, is now insufficient. So should we keep the PM there only? Sir, you wait there only. Next budget, when we pass, we'll call you back from there. Of course not. That is not possible. So what we'll do is, we'll ask the government to spend some more money on this particular area only, that is the travel of the prime minister. That is called supplementary grant. Now, where will the money come from? This money is spent from which account? Contingency fund. So from contingency fund, the money can be spent and the government can keep on spending money on the travels of Prime Minister till 31st of March. Okay. Then we have something called additional grant. Now, what is additional grant? Additional grant basically refers to, see, every year in the budget, there are a lot of new schemes and programs. But this does not mean that the government cannot now launch a new scheme in September or October. Let's say the government did not think of a new scheme and now they want to launch a new scheme. As I was discussing, All India Marriage Services. Let's say government now plans to curtail the upper limit of expenditure on marriage and says we want to launch a new kind of service, new officers, all India marriage service officers, or all India temple service officers, to look into the upkeep of all the temples of the country, right? Now this is a new scheme that the government did not think of during the making of the budget. This they have thought of in between. How do they spend the money? Same thing. The money comes from contingency fund. So additional grant means additional expenditure on a new service which was not a part of the budget. So that's there. So this is with respect to the additional grant. Now, moving on to the next key term, excess grant. Sometimes, uh, because you have lot of money with you, you may tend to overspend money. Simple example. Look at your life only. If you are staying away from a family in some PG, etc., your parents have given you, say, 12,000 rupees to spend in a month, of which 6,000 could be your room rent, 3,000 could be your mess charges, and 3,000 could be spending money on yourself, books, etc. But they are giving you all 12,000 together. Now, what happens is, let us say the PG owner suddenly says, my rent is now 6,500. What do? You have to give him the money. Later on, you can ask your parents, let's see, I had to give more money, so I already had the money. So you may give some money from here, 500 rupees, right? Which you're planning to spend on yourself, you give it from there to the PG owner. And then maybe you can ask your parents, see, I spent 500 rupees on the PG, you please send me extra 500 rupees. That's the same thing that happens with excess grant. When money is spent more than what is approved by the parliament. See, for every ministry, say Ministry of Education, Ministry of Education will have 30-40 schemes running. Assume scheme A, they are getting 100 crores. Scheme B, they are getting 50 crores. Scheme C, they are getting 80 crores. So the Ministry of Finance will collectively give the Ministry of Education collectively in total 230 crore rupees, okay, to spend. Now, by chance, if to complete a certain project, they overspent here, 120 crores is spent already. From where have they spent the money? They have spent money from some other scheme, which was there with them already. This is called excess grant. So they will need the money because they have spent 20 crore rupees extra, which will be a shortfall in some other scheme. So this money also comes from which account? The same contingency fund. Okay. So this is there. Then vote of credit. So again, in the budget, we plan for expenditure on schemes, programs, policies. We cannot plan for an expenditure on war, pandemic, right? Some kind of natural calamity, right? Some disease outbreak, floods, etc. This can't be planned. So unexpected demand. How do you spend money? From contingency fund. For example, war, calamities, some kind of pandemic. You can't plan for all these things. So again, you will spend money from the contingency fund. And lastly, just one small point, reappropriation. So what is reappropriation? Basically, you can only spend money on a particular area which you are allowed to spend. You cannot spend money on some other things and all. That is not allowed. Actually, if you want to spend money on some other thing, you have to get the permission of the parliament. For example, let's say you are given 1,000 rupees by your mother and you are told, please go and bring some vegetables, 800 rupees for vegetables and keep 200 for yourself. Okay, you are very happy and delighted. You go to the shopkeeper and start crying to him saying, sir, I am UPSC aspirant, look at my life full of struggles, please give me some discount. And the shopkeeper, by looking at your face and the struggles of your life, no fun in your life, he says, okay, I am giving you 10% discount. So you only pay me 720 rupees, no problem. Poor UPSC aspirant, always struggling in life, right? So you get 80 rupees discount. But you cannot spend the 80 rupees on your own. You should ask your parent that, see, I have saved 80 rupees, can I spend it on myself? Okay, this is how it is going to be. Same thing. Say there is Ministry of Power. It has two projects, Project A, Project B. Now in Project A, they were given 100 crore rupees to spend. Project B, they were given 50 crore rupees to spend. But luckily, somehow magically, they only required 90 crore rupees to for Project A, and the task is achieved. They have 10 crore rupees remaining with them. Now they can't simply spend it on some other scheme or project. They have to get the permission from the parliament. Reappropriation requires parliamentary approval. So shifting money from one head, one project, one scheme, one policy, one program to another is what is called reappropriation. So these are some of the budgetary terms that you may come across, and this is what these terms mean. Now, one small term and then we'll be done. Interim budget. So what is interim budget? Interim budget is a normal budget, a full-fledged budget. It contains, look at the statement here, it contains detailed documentation of every expense to be incurred and every rupee to be earned. So basically, it's a proper budget which contains expenditure also, income also, no problem. But then why are we calling it an interim budget? Interim budget is a budget presented by the incumbent. Incumbent means current, sitting, current government during the election year. So, for example, in 2019, the government presented a budget. In 2020 also, in the month of February, in 2021, 2022, 2023, this year also. And the government is going to present the budget next year also. Now think of this. In 2019, the budget was presented, but in the month of February, you are presenting a budget. Elections are there in the month of May. What if the government says, let's do one thing, let's prepare a very populist kind of budget, free money for everyone, free money yojana. They may start a scheme, Amit Shah ghar baitho paise pao yojana. Everybody gets 10 crore rupees in their account, and now people are very happy, and they say, oh, best government, let's vote for this government only. This is possible. So this budget which is presented in the election year is called an interim budget. And ideally, the government should not launch new schemes or programs in the budget which may affect or influence the voter base, right? Because the incumbent government should not introduce any major policy changes that can influence the vote banks unfairly. Don't remove taxation only. You can say, in this budget, no income tax on people. You make all these statements, people are very happy and they'll vote for you, because see, people vote based on these things only. You make things free and people will say, oh, come on, let's vote. That is what the Congress realized in 2019 elections, 2018 elections in Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, farm loan waivers, and they won all the elections. That is what Aam Aadmi Party has realized. give people free stuff and people will love it, right? That is what parties in Tamil Nadu do. In big rallies, people are given things from sarees and dhotis to even juicer, mixer, grinders, small portable televisions, portable wall fans, ceiling fans, all such things. That's a reality of life, right? In a lot of northern states, they are given a lot of freebies and food to eat. So that is a big problem. And that is why, to have a fair election, fairness in election, the ruling party in power is forming the government. Now they have lot of resources, they can waste money of the country, so they should not waste country's money in an unfair manner to win the election. That is why we treat the budget presented in the election year differently. So this is a normal budget. Normal budget, I mean, when I say normal, I mean nothing special here. It is just a general budget. Here also, here also, here also. Again 2024, what kind of budget will be there? Interim budget will be presented. And this budget is meant for just 4-5 months, because see, budget is presented in the month of February. In the month of May, you have elections. What if by magic in the month of June, Congress, Indian National Congress comes to power? Now they don't even have Rahul Gandhi, right? So some people in BJP are very upset yesterday. But how could you remove the biggest campaigner for BJP? But anyway, jokes aside, the whole point is that what if Congress comes to power? Why should Congress be forced into spending money in the form and fashion BJP has wanted to spend? So interim budget is a proper budget, but it does not contain major policy changes, and it is meant only for 4 or 5 months, right? They have full-fledged expenditure for the entire year, but it continues only for 4 or 5 months. When the new government is elected, it will make its own budget and present it in the month of July. That is what is an interim budget. Now, please focus on this word, ideally. There is no law which says you should not do it. It is an ethical code of conduct that you are a ruling party in power, don't waste country's money to win an election. I'll give you a simple example. Uh, in 2019, interim budget was to be presented, election year. Suddenly, our ruling party feels that the farmers are in a very poor condition. Suddenly, they realize it. That is why we have to help the farmers, and we have to launch a new scheme called PM Kisan. Kisan Samman Nidhi. 6,000 rupees to be given to every small marginal farmer. Now it is for every farmer uh, in his account. 2,000 in every 4 months. This is direct cash being sent to a farmer. Yes, you understand the need and importance of this money for farmers, but could you not think of this money in 2018? Right? And the government passed it from a back date, meaning before the elections, farmers did get 2,000 rupees in their account, which actually was morally not correct. Could you not wait for 3 months? This could have been a part of election promise, but you actually spent money and transferred money in their account. Or, for example, the people who are earning below 5 lakh rupees per annum were given a tax rebate. So interim budget should not contain any tax changes. So government did not make any tax changes. What it said was any person who is getting income below 5 lakh rupees will be given a tax discount of 12,500. Why this discount? In election year only. So these things are not appropriate. Nobody would raise questions on these things, but sadly, these should not be the way in which we go through the interim budget. Okay, that is all as far as the budget is concerned. We are done with the passage of the budget. Okay, before we move on, solve a question quickly. Asked in prelims 2011. I'll give you 45 seconds for this. Oh, option. Ravi, sir, even EWS was passed in 2019 interim budget session. That was there, of course. We know very well. A lot of these things have a hidden agenda to pacify people. So, what can we say? So, what's the answer? 39% I marked B. Absolutely correct. The provision of a vote on account. What is vote on account? 2 months expenditure. Remember? Is used by a regular government, while an interim budget is a provision used by what is caretaker government. What the hell is this? We have not seen such a term. Don't invent new terms. There is nothing called a caretaker government. In 2019, we had a proper BJP government only, which passed the budget. The budget passed in election year by the current government is called interim budget. It is not a caretaker government, right? Or the budget to be passed in 2024 by the government of India will be called an interim budget. That's it. It is not some caretaker government. So please, one is wrong. These two are wrong. Now, a vote on account only deals with expenditure. Of course, vote on account means what? 2 months expenditure. While an interim budget includes both expenditure and receipt. Of course, interim budget is basically a proper budget which includes both expenditure and receipt. So 2 is correct. B2 only is the right answer. Okay. Now, that's it. So what were you telling about money to be used before 31st March? See, what I mentioned, somebody says, what is this 31st March thing? So please understand, the budget for 2023 is what? You can spend money from the 1st of April 23 to the 31st of March 2024. This is where you're allowed. This means what? The 1st of April 2024 onwards, you can't spend money from CFI. For that, you have to pass a budget again next year. So this budget is only allowing the government to spend money for the next 1 year. This is what it means. Okay, so that is there. Yes, Mandeep, the outgoing government can do both vote on account and interim budget. See, now vote on account is not being done. Why? Because budget in the past 6 years has always been passed before the month of March. Earlier, the budget used to be presented on the last working day of February. Till 2015-16, the budget was presented on the last working day of February. Now the BJP government has preponed it of sorts, wherein they say that we want to finish the exercise before the end of March so that we can spend money properly from the 1st of April with the new with the passage of the new budget. Okay. Moving on now, leader of the house. Very basic, very simple term. Leader of the house. What is leader of the house? So leader of the house is somebody who is the head collectively of the entire house. Both houses have separate leaders. Let me clarify one thing here. Irrespective of whatever is mentioned in your books, does not really matter. Rules of Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha are very clear. Number one, PM is the leader of whichever house he is the member of, he or she. So Prime Minister is the leader of the house basically. If PM is a member of Lok Sabha currently, then he is the leader of Lok Sabha. For example, till 2014, Dr. Manmohan Singh, he was an MP in Rajya Sabha, so he is the leader of he was leader of Rajya Sabha. And in the other house, any senior minister chosen by the Prime Minister. So PM can choose any senior minister. For example, look at Piyush Goyal. He is Piyush Goyal, leader of Rajya Sabha, and of course Mr. Narendra Modi, leader Lok Sabha. And you can see the expression of Piyush Goyal that thank you so much, sir, for making leader of the house. So it is the choice of the prime minister, whoever he appoints. You have to be in the good books of prime minister. Send him good morning messages regularly, nice texts, good jokes, and he'll be happy, right? So what is the task of leader of house? He acts as a spokesperson of the house, representing the house in ceremonial functions, maintaining coordination between parties, and whenever the presiding officer starts or ends a session and all, they consult with the leader of the house only. He is consulted by the presiding officer with respect to arrangement of government business, private member business, and on matters of adjournment and prorogation. So when should the session be? Actually, it is a matter where in the consultation of the presiding officer and the leader of the house takes place, and then they decide on a date, and then the government will ask the president that, sir, please sign this order and summon the session or prorogue the session, right? That is it. This is leader of the house. Now we have a term, leader of opposition. See, leader of opposition is a very important post. I'll tell you why. Because opposition is not a single party. See, ruling party is a single party or group of parties together ruling. But opposition consists of various parties. They may not be together on various platforms, on various issues. But we have to have a collective opposition to question the government. That is why we have a term called leader of opposition. It is a statutory position, firstly. It is not a constitutional post. Statutory post. Statutory, from the word statute, law. What is a law? The law is called the leader of opposition. So, normally, the leader of opposition is referred to as LOP. Okay. And the law is the Salaries and Allowances of LOP Act 1977. This is the law which provides for this person called leader of opposition. So now it is a statutory post, of course, a very, very important. This person has the same rank, same status as a cabinet minister. Same status as cabinet minister, meaning gets the same salary, same allowances as a cabinet minister. Now, what is the definition? This definition is mentioned here. He should be a member of the house, of course. He should be recognized by the presiding officer. So, who appoints him? The presiding officer. And he should be the leader. Important. He should be leader of the party in the opposition with the greatest numerical strength. Whichever party has the highest number of MPs in that house, in the opposition, that party will decide or choose from themselves one leader of opposition. Okay. For example, now, in the Lok Sabha, various parties have 21, 22 members, YSR, DMK, BJD, JDU. Various parties have 16, 18, 21, 22, AITC. But Congress has the highest number of MPs. 52, sorry, 51 now. My bad. It's 51 now after Mr. Rahul Gandhi has been disqualified. So 51 MPs. Now, in the Rajya Sabha, again, Congress has the largest number of MPs. I think the figure for Rajya Sabha stands at 31. If I'm not wrong, 31 MPs in the Rajya Sabha for Congress. BJP has 93 MPs in Rajya Sabha. Now, if you look at Rajya Sabha, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge is the LOP of Rajya Sabha, but there is no leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha. This is how is it possible, despite Congress having the largest number of seats? Because of a separate rule that we follow called Mavlankar rule. Mavlankar after the first Speaker of India, G.V. Mavlankar. So what is this Mavlankar rule? See, apart from this, you also have to meet one more condition. That is, the strength of the main opposition party to be officially recognized as such must be equal to, very important, the quorum of the house. Meaning what? In case you want to get the tag of LOP, you have to win 10% seats in Lok Sabha, in Rajya Sabha. Now, look at Congress. In Lok Sabha, 10% is how much? 54.3, 55. In Rajya Sabha, it is 25. Now, look at Congress. How many MPs does Congress have? 51. How many are required? 55. That is why there is no LOP in Lok Sabha. In Rajya Sabha, how many does Congress have? 31. How many required? 25. That is why we have an LOP in the Rajya Sabha. Okay, so that is their leader of opposition, LOP. I hope this point is understood. Now, coming to some parliamentary privileges, some benefits that our MPs get in the parliament. MPs as well as the house in total. So what is this privilege or benefit? So privilege basically is a special immunity or concession. Immunity or concessions enjoyed by our legislators individually and the house collectively in order to function. So why do we need some privileges? Why special treatment for these MPs, you may say? See, it is very, very important, necessary in order to secure the independence and effectiveness of their action. And of their action or actions. And also see, we are referring to people's representatives. We need to show some respect and dignity for them. So also to maintain dignity, honor, respect for our legislators and the house in general. So special privileges or concessions are extended to our MPs or the houses in general. So what is a collective privilege? Meaning the house has the advantage collectively. So the house has a right to publish its reports, debates, proceedings, etc. And if the house says, then nobody else can publish the discussions that take place every day in the house. However, media, the press can publish true reports of parliamentary discussions. Press can publish what is happening in the house on a daily basis, the correct reports. But we may not be allowed to publish reports if the house says, sorry, you have no authority. Number two, it can also exclude strangers from its proceedings and hold secret sittings. So as I said, outsiders may not be allowed in the house. The house decides. You can sit in the gallery and watch, but if the house says, no, get lost, all of you, then you have to get lost. Or secret sittings, which is held by the presiding officer to discuss urgent and important matters. Then it can make rules to regulate its own procedure and the conduct of its own business. So don't we have something called Lok Sabha rules? Don't we have something called Rajya Sabha rules? Rules made by Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha to run the house. So that's there. Then it can punish members, mind you, as well as outsiders for breach of privilege. Breach means to know. Breach is what? Breach is an act that obstructs the MPs from performing their functions. That's called breach. So the house can punish members for breach of privilege. If you are misbehaving in the house can punish you. Fair enough. It can also punish outsiders, people like us. If we make some derogatory remark against the house can punish us also with jail term. Okay, jail sentence also. I'll give you a simple example. Back in 2011-12, the country, I think the last proper movement that the country saw where people participated genuinely, not politicians, was the India Against Corruption movement. That was Anna Hazare, led by the former armed forces staff, Anna Hazare. Where you had all these people, Arvind Kejriwal, Kiran Bedi, Baba Ramdev, a lot of people came. Anupam Kher, they would come to Delhi, give speeches and all. They wanted something called a Lokpal bill. Now, in that particular situation, what happened was that Om Puri, one very popular actor, very famous actor, Om Puri, he is no more with us now. If you follow Hindi cinema, you would know Om Puri. So, Om Puri made a statement. See, that is the whole problem with our celebrities. Most of them, they don't have an inherent understanding of the laws, rules, regulations of the country, but they want to also be seen as politically very active or very intelligent and all. But they normally fail because you have to have some understanding. Like recently, one very famous actor making a statement on how the Vaishnavites and Shaivites were not a part of Hindu religion, or some other actor saying some kind of statement. So all these things happen, right? But Om Puri, he was addressing a large gathering of people, and he pointed his fingers towards the parliament and used a Hindi phrase. So he said in Hindi, I'll translate in English. He said, "Tell these imbeciles, these gawars, to give us a Lokpal bill." Now, you can't call the parliament as gawars and imbeciles and fools and all these things. Please, it's the parliament, right? It has a decorum. There are a lot of MPs who are highly respected. They've been voted and chosen by the people. Yes, there might be some MPs who are having some jail, maybe a pending case in the jail, maybe some illiterate people, and all, but you can't address them as gawars, fools, imbeciles, stupid people, and all. No, you can't in a public rally. So he made this statement, and then the parliament asked him, "Sir, come on, you want to go to jail?" He said, "Sorry, sir, by mistake it happened." He apologized officially, and then he was let off. So the house can also punish outsiders for a breach of privilege or contempt. What is contempt? Contempt means if you make a negative statement against any person, lowering their dignity, attacking their authority, etc., that is called contempt. Now, it has a right to receive information, immediate information of the arrest, detention, conviction. For example, in the case of Rahul Gandhi, imprisonment and release of a member. So when any MP is arrested, detained, convicted, released, etc., house needs to be informed immediately because house has to take an action on that particular matter. Then it can institute inquiries and order the attendance of witnesses and send for relevant papers and records. That also can be done. Inquiries can be conducted, right? Witnesses can be called. House conducts inquiries, inquiry into allegation of ground of violation of constitution for removal of president or impeachment of president, removal of vice president, removal of Supreme Court judge, removal of chief election commissioner, removal of CAG. So many people are removed by the house. How? By conducting inquiries only. So house can conduct inquiries also in that sense. Then the courts are prohibited to inquire into the proceedings of a house or its committees. Courts cannot interfere in the proceedings of the house. This is actually a constitutional provision, Article 122. But let me remind you, there is a case called Raja Rampal case, the same money bill case, where Supreme Court says that the court can inquire into house proceedings if there is anything unconstitutional going on. Amazing. Courts can inquire. Courts can inquire in case of unconstitutional activities. So, the court has every right to inquire if something wrong is happening in the houses. Can the parliament inquire into court's functioning? It cannot. That's the beauty. Court will interfere everywhere. Can you interfere in the court's functioning? No, no, don't dare to. How dare you interfere in court's functioning? We are independent people. We are always correct, always right. That's there. Anyway, that's the end of the matter. Raja Rampal case. And no person, either a member or outsider, can be arrested, and no legal process, civil or criminal, can be served within the precincts. Precincts means boundary of the house without the permission of the presiding officer. What is the meaning of this? Nobody can be arrested inside the house without the presiding officer's permission. So next time you are being arrested, you go and run inside the parliament, and then the police will not be able to arrest you unless they get the permission from the presiding officer. Don't try this, please. If the police comes to arrest you, please be available for arrest. But that's an alternative. This is all collective privilege. Now, individual privilege. First things first, just like the president is immune from arrests, similarly, the MPs are also immune from arrest in civil matters. There is a section or under the Code of Civil Procedure, section 135A. This is under CPC 1908. Okay. This says that freedom from arrest during the session and 40 days before and 40 days after end of session, but only in civil cases. Now, no member is liable to any proceedings in any court for anything said or any vote given by him in parliament or its committees. This is a very, very important article. Article 105. It gives the MPs the freedom, complete freedom to do what? Complete freedom to give any kind of speech in the house, any kind of vote in the house, and the courts will not inquire into what you said in the house. No member is liable to any proceedings in any court for anything said or any vote given by him in the parliament or its committees. Just to point this out, this power or this feature is also available to all those people who are allowed to sit or speak in the parliament. To people covered under Article 88. What is Article 88? Do you remember? What is Article 88? Article 88 says that the Council of Ministers and the Attorney General have a right to speak in both the houses, take part in the proceedings of both the houses, be a member of any committee of the parliament. So, this benefit is there for those people also. So, Attorney General also has the right to speak anything in both the houses. Okay. And he will not be punished in the court for whatever he speaks in the house. Okay. And lastly, they are exempted from jury service and can refuse to give evidence and appear as witness. So, when a session is going on, the MPs can say, I will not come in the court and be a witness. After a session, I'll come in the court. So, they can refuse to come to court and be a witness while the session is going on. Now, they're exempted from jury service. What is jury service? So, have you seen the movie called Rustam by any chance? If you have seen the movie Rustam, please quickly. A for yes, B for no. So if you have seen the movie Rustam, then you would know very well. Oh, it's almost half. Okay. Don't worry. Have you seen this series called Daredevil, where I think the Punisher episodes were there? Forget all that. Forget all that. Did you see the Amber Heard and Johnny Depp's defamation case? Right? The entire country was celebrating when Johnny Depp won, as if we had won. We had no say. We did not get a single penny. But anyway, what happened? Amber Heard and Johnny Depp, both of them were trying to explain their stand in front of jury. So basically, what happens in case of jury, you have a judge sitting here, you have lawyer, the accused, defendant. So in USA, you have somebody called defense attorney, lawyer, and you have the accused. And there are people sitting here on one side. They are called jury. Jury are basically a group of people chosen from general public to listen to facts about a crime, and the jury will decide whether the person accused is guilty or not. So jury comprise of rich, poor, educated, literate, illiterate, men, women, young, not children, young, old, all walks of life. They represent society. If the society finds you guilty, then the judge will only give the punishment. That's it. So the MPs can refuse to be a part of jury service. So sadly, in our country, we don't have jury service now. It was there in some local courts in Maharashtra, in Bombay province in 1960s. And last known case of jury, I believe, happened in 1970s in some local court in West Bengal. But then with the new CRPC made, CRPC 1973, we don't have a jury concept now. Every decision is given by the judge only. But in USA, you have jury. A lot of movies have been made on jury. The very famous series on Netflix, that is O.J. Simpson story, is there. The Amber Heard jury thing is there. Or a very famous movie, it's a black and white movie called 12 Angry Men. I believe it was released in 1957. So that's again a very classic movie on jury service or jury duty. So that is there. Anyway, I hope you understand jury. So that is there. So these are some of the privileges extended to our MPs in the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. These benefits are there for MLAs also, MLCs also. Now finally, coming to special powers of Lok Sabha, special powers of Rajya Sabha. So first up, what are those powers that are available to the Lok Sabha and are not available to the Rajya Sabha? First up is Article 75 Clause 3. Please tell me, right, what is Article 75 Clause 3? Collective, what? Responsibility. So Article 75 Clause 3 talks about collective responsibility, collective accountability, right? This means that is the reason why all these motions in Lok Sabha only, for example, no confidence motion, trust vote, censure motion, etc. All these take place where? In the Lok Sabha only. Okay. Government is formed in the Lok Sabha. Government formation because of that. Then superior powers with respect to money bills. What are money bills? We know money bills definition under Article 110. Superior powers how? In the sense that the Raj Sabha must pass money bills in how many days? 14 days. No power over money bills. Then superior power with respect to joint sitting. So what superior power? The presiding officer of joint sitting is the speaker, number one. In the joint sitting, Rules of Lok Sabha are followed. My house, my rules. And number 3, we also have something called a numerical advantage in joint sittings. 543 MPs of Lok Sabha, 245 of Rajya Sabha. Then ignore this point. We'll discuss this under emergency. And the dominance of its members in all joint committees. So if you see any joint committee of parliament, we'll see them today only, hopefully. Any joint committee of the parliament, you will find that there are more MPs in Lok Sabha, from Lok Sabha than Rajya Sabha. So, more MPs from Lok Sabha than Rajya Sabha. Okay, so this is with respect to joint sittings or joint committees. For example, some joint committee examples are DRSC. In the chapter budget, we had explained this point, departmentally related standing committees, or we have very famous joint committee called PAC, Public Accounts Committee, etc. We'll discuss them shortly, maybe in an hour or two. Okay, these are special powers of the Lok Sabha. Now, quickly, special powers of Rajya Sabha. See, as far as Rajya Sabha is concerned, Rajya Sabha is the house which is never dissolved only, not subject to dissolution. It continues forever. And then tenure of individual MPs is also longer. It is how much? 6 years. That's there. So that is a tenure. Then the removal of vice president can begin only in the Rajya Sabha. Which article is this? Please type your answer. So in case of the removal of vice president, it can start only in the Rajya Sabha. Okay, some of you have written the right answer. It is Article 67, Clause B. Okay, great. Then Article 312, only Rajya Sabha can authorize the Parliament to create New All India Service. And Article 249, only Rajya Sabha can authorize the Parliament to make laws on state list subjects. And this authorization is 2/3 what? Present and voting. Okay. Now, this also means that Rajya Sabha has its own importance. So, what is the importance of Rajya Sabha? Number one, of course, is the fact that Rajya Sabha is the representation of states' interest in the parliament, right? So, it preserves federalism, representation of states' interest in the parliament. Number one. Number two, a very important element is that Rajya Sabha also keeps a check on all the bills passed by Lok Sabha. So check on hasty legislation. What is hasty? Something done in a hurry, quickly. That is why we have a very interesting term for it. Lok Sabha is called House of Passion. Why House of Passion? Passionate people fighting elections, representing people. They fight, argue because people are voting for them. They have to prove that, see, I am being the true leader for my people. So it's a very passionate kind of house. Heated debates take place there. But Rajya Sabha is more calm and composed. And that's why we call Rajya Sabha as the House of corrections. This is the Lok Sabha and this is the Rajya Sabha. Then membership quality is slightly better. Membership quality. Experts can also be made members in the Rajya Sabha. You don't have to win the election properly. You simply can be voted by MLAs and you can be there. Then Rajya Sabha, you will find, has more detailed discussions, more rational behavior. You'll hardly find MPs of Rajya Sabha fighting and all. Lesser disruptions. These disruptions don't usually happen in the Rajya Sabha. And of course, Rajya Sabha is a house of elders. In fact, this statement is actually correct. Why? You know why? Because the average age of Lok Sabha MPs is, I think, 54 now, roughly 54. And the average age of Rajya Sabha MPs is around 61 to 62 years. So, house of elders. Anyway, so this is the importance of Rajya Sabha, and that is what we should remember, that when it comes to Rajya Sabha, the need and the importance of Rajya Sabha plays a very, very important role. It has more rational behavior on passage of bills. The discussions are mean lesser disruptions, lesser fighting. Rational behavior means what? You fight less, you sit and discuss properly. Lok Sabha MPs immediately get excited, disruption, shut the house down, dharnas. But in Rajya Sabha, you will see more discussions take place. Even if the opposition is very angry, they'll want to discuss on issues rather than disrupting the house completely. That is what happens. Okay. So that's it with respect to special powers of Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Solve a couple of questions quickly, or one question quickly. Asked in 2020. Very simple, very easy. I'll give you 30 seconds. Please think properly. Mark your answer. Okay, 63% got this correct. Great. Raj Sabha has equal powers with Lok Sabha in matter of creating all India service. Yes or no? Of course not. Equal powers. This is a power of Rajya Sabha, not Lok Sabha. Removal of government. Of course not. This is a power of Lok Sabha. No confidence motion. Making cut motions. Of course not. Such motions can only be brought in the Lok Sabha. So the right answer is amending the constitution. Equal powers. Such bills can be brought in both the houses. They have to be passed by both the houses separately. No joint sitting, etc. takes place under such proposals of constitutional amendments. Okay, that's all, guys. Let's take a quick break of around 10 minutes. Be back at 2, and then we'll begin our discussion on anti-defection law. Break, please. Welcome back, guys. Okay, so now let's begin our discussion on anti-defection law. Let's see some doubts that you may have, which is not resolved. Kunal, sir, is there any minimum percentage attendance criteria in Parliament? If the minimum number of days a member has to be present? No, there is no minimum percentage criteria. Nothing at all. You can continuously be absent. I mean, some people like Sachin and Rekha, the actress, and Sachin, the cricketer, they were present for less than 10% of the total number of days. Attendance was less than 10%. So, of course, there is no minimum, but you have to actually submit information of your absence. What is cut motions? Cut motion, remember cut motions? Token cut motion, economy cut motion, policy cut motion, the disapproval of policy cut motion under budget. No, Priyanka, Rajya Sabha does not have reservation of seats in the for SC/STs. SC/ST reservation is only for Lok Sabha or the Assembly. Neither the council in states or the Rajya Sabha, they don't have reservation for SC/STs. Okay. What else do we have here? Sir, general public can also go and see on speaker recommendations. Speaker recommendations. No, you can't go and speak there. That is not allowed. Sorry. You can sit in the meetings and all, you can't speak. So for vote on account, where will money come from if no finance bill? Money will always come from, see, for vote on account or any such thing, it is not that the government has no money only. The government does have resources available. So that money will be given to the government because they already have money till 31st of March, right? So that money will come after the 1st of April. And if there's a delay in passage of finance bill, they can continue to collect taxes. So money comes in, money goes out. It's there. Okay, I believe your doubts have largely been addressed. Oh, Nikhil, sir, can we stop reading newspaper for prelims 2023 now? At least till April, maybe, right? Maybe first 15 days of April. So ideally, we say stop focusing on newspaper a month prior to the conduct of examination. So maybe half of the April, let it pass. So 15th of April, you can have some kind of news information and stuff that may be correlated. So that is possible. So not so quickly, but at least 10-15 days more. That's there. Okay. Abhijit, what is more rational? As I explained, Abhijit, rational behavior refers to behavior wherein we want discussions and debates. We don't want disruption, right? The only recourse is ending the sitting. Come on, let's go back home, sit on dharna. That is irrational behavior. Rational behavior means when we are open for debate and discussion, when we are open to hearing the government's point of view also, right? That is called rational behavior. In vote of account, there is 1/6 of interim budget. Please tell. See, when it comes to interim budget, it is a full budget for the entire year with no major changes. So it is 1/6 of the full budget only, right? Shalu. Rani, what happens to the pension of the MP if he is disqualified? See, pension is pension. You keep on getting the pension. Please explain President's removal. Ranjan, Article 61, that entire process. That is a very simple process. Revision is very important. The process is the 1/4 MPs in either house can give a motion to remove the president. It will be accepted. Voting takes place by 2/3 of the total strength. it is passed to the other house. In other house, charges are investigated, and again voting takes place. If it is passed, then the president is removed or impeached. Is punish MP in vote given? No, MPs can't be punished by the courts for any vote given. Dhaval, no Dhaval. LOP cannot speak in either house. That is not allowed. Akula, pension is for life actually. For anyone, pension is for life. Till you are alive, you get the pension. And when you pass away, your spouse gets half the pension. That's called family pension. Yes, Sayed, speaker also takes the oath. Everybody takes the oath to be a member of the house. Not a speaker, to be a member of the house. Yes, Nitesh, once you are disqualified, if you are qualified again, if the disqualification is removed, you can again become an MP, but in the same case. Supplementary grants bill can be passed in any session the house wants. Normally what happens is the money only ends towards the end of the year, right? That is why it is passed in budget session. But if the money ends too quickly, it can be passed in the winter session also. That is why it is passed in budget session, because the money, for your money given to you by your parents, it gets over only on the last days of the month. That is why. Why LOP cannot speak? LOP is a member of some house. He'll speak in the house only. Why will he speak in the other house? Right? You can speak only if the presiding officer allows you. There is no constitutional right to speak in any house you want to. Okay? Yes, Yara, MLAs also have pension. Shalu, the question you are asking refers to an act which is unconstitutional. Raja Rampal case very clearly says that any unconstitutional behavior which amounts to breaching the constitution or any laws in the country will always be open to judicial scrutiny. You are asking on matters of bribe, right? That happened in the early 2000s. It is actually a bribe, taking money for asking questions, etc. That is basically a bribe. That is covered under PCA. That is has a legal backing to it. That is separate. Okay, that is all. See, Syed, it is not really important. Just think of it that the MLAs of the state will vote and choose the members of the Rajya Sabha who represent the Rajya Sabha for their state. As simple as that. Okay, that is the very basic information. Yes, Syed, it is mandatory. President has no power. Dissolution is only optional if no party is able to form the government. Otherwise, it is mandatory for the president or governor to dissolve the house if the PM or the CM asks him or her to do so. Okay, now let's come back here. Let's begin our discussion on the anti-defection law. And as you can see here, I'll put my head down, Schedule 10. So what is anti-defection law? For that, we need to know what is defection. So what is defection, guys? Defection means to change or shift your loyalties. That is called defection. Changing sides is called defection. Why do you have to make a law to prevent changing sides? What is the harm of changing sides? I mean, today I may have full belief in the BJP's policies. Tomorrow I can believe in Congress's policies. What's the big problem? I don't have a right to change my thinking also. Of course, everybody has a right to change their thinking and all. This law was brought for a specific reason. Firstly, this law is only applicable on legislators, not on party workers. So there is something called a party, something called legislative party. What is a party? BJP claims to have 10 crore party workers. So anti-defection law is not applicable on party workers. Today you're a BJP party worker, tomorrow you can be a Congress party worker. Nobody cares. It is applicable only on legislative party, meaning those party members of BJP, Congress, Aam Aadmi Party, DMK, BJD, etc., who are MPs, MLAs, MLCs. Are we clear? This is only meant for those people of a party who are actually legislators. So, what are the reasons? Reason number one, corruption. You know, in our country has seen some amazing politicians. So, this also becomes a huge problem because normally people change their sides not because they have changed their ideology, because they are getting some benefit from the party. Why would any Congress person join BJP or BJP person join Congress? Because of ministerial post, right? Now, I'll give you a very interesting example. There was an amazing person called Gaya Lal. Gaya Lal used to be a Congress member, Indian National Congress. And this story is of 1967, when Congress was facing an internal turmoil and split happened between Congress and Congress, and Congress split into two parties, Congress I, Congress O, and Indira Gandhi was separate from the other leaders of Congress. So a lot of people kept on changing loyalties there. So one Gaya Lal, he was from Congress. He left Congress. From Congress, he went to Janta Party, joined them. After 15 days, or 14 days to be exact, he again went back to Congress. And this time the Congress spokesperson took him to the press conference. All the newspapers, people were sitting there. And then the Congress spokesperson told people that, sir, Gaya Lal has come back. So Gaya in Hindi refers to gone, right? So Gaya Lal वापस आ गया है. Gaya Lal has come back. Play of words. Very nice. People were clapping, rejoicing. Little did people know that on the very same day in the evening, Gaya Lal went back to Janata Party. This person switched loyalties 3 times in 15 days. Was it a change of ideology, or was he getting a bigger briefcase every time? More currency? Who knows? This was a problem. In fact, in the phase of 1967 to 1970, there were 1900 plus defections. 1900 plus MPs, MLAs, MLCs kept on changing parties. And he was an MLA in Haryana, Hodal, Palwal district. So this was a very serious issue, concern, corruption, right? And a very, very big challenge. So the very first reason why we thought there should be a law to prevent defection is corruption. Now, simple example. Let us say in the Lok Sabha, how many MPs are there? 543. To form the government, absolute majority, how many are required? 272 is the magical figure required to form the government. Absolute majority. I think we know it. More than half. Let us say BJP gets 270 seats in the Lok Sabha. Okay. Now, BJP cannot form the government. It needs 2 more MPs. BJP contacts Shashi Tharoor and Mallikarjun Kharge and says, guys, please come to BJP and I will give you a 10-day, 11-night package in Canada, right? Go and enjoy there. They join BJP. Corruption, blatant corruption. Now, after a few weeks, Congress tells them, or Congress approaches BJP, and Congress asks Narendra Modi and Amit Shah that, guys, why don't you join Congress? I will give you 15-day, 16-night Switzerland package. Go and enjoy. And those two people leave BJP and join Congress. Corruption is there. Also, government collapses, right? Destabilizing the government. Again, some people approach Congress and buy 2 members. Government is formed. Again, Congress approaches BJP and buys 2 members. Government collapses. So it can result in instability in government formation. So two big problems are these. And now think of it. People of your constituency have voted for you. And let's say people voted for Rahul Gandhi in Wayanad, not because of Rahul Gandhi's amazing performance. No, no, no. Because people in Kerala did not really want to vote for BJP. They're willing to vote for anyone except BJP. Now, after winning the election, let's say Rahul Gandhi joined BJP. Is it justified? Are you not breaching the trust of people who have voted for you? It also amounts to breach of trust. Breach of trust of voter. And lastly, Supreme Court has also said this, that when you leave a party and join some other party and frequently do this, what are you doing to party? This, you are treating party like, as come as you please, go as you please. It reduces parties to some kind of casual, informal platform, disrespecting the party. And the respect in the eyes of people is a bread and butter of every party, right? So people, if I have some advantage right now, I'll join BJP. And if I see no advantage, I'll join Congress. No advantage, I'll join some other party. What is this? After all, party is a group of people with a common ideology who want to hold power. Holding power is secondary, common ideology is primary. So it also reduces political parties into a casual or informal platform. That is why we say that we need to have a law in this country. And there's a very famous saying, Ayaram, Gayaram. Ram refers to God. When will any politician come to my party? Only God knows. And when will he leave my party? Only God knows. Nobody can predict the behavior of these politicians. And that is why this buying and selling of these politicians is called horse trading. Okay, that's it. Anyway, so these are reasons with respect to which we thought, let's have a law. So finally, in 1985, we modified the constitution and we added two clauses to two articles, and we also added one separate schedule called Schedule 10, which will now be referred to as the anti-defection law. So Schedule 10 and 2. See, remember Article 102, Clause 1 refers to disqualification on other grounds like not being a citizen, office of profit, being crazy, etc. Clause 2 refers to disqualification on grounds of defection. Provisions with respect to disqualification arising out of defection, changing loyalties. And 191 clause 2 is meant for states, MLA, MLC. And we also added a separate schedule called Schedule 10. So this is what is known as the anti-defection law, or ADL. Okay, and this change was made by the Rajiv Gandhi government through the 52nd Amendment Act 1985. So that is with respect to the change. Now let's look at the provisions one by one. So how will the member be disqualified? Now please hear me carefully before jumping on to writing or asking any question. Hear me out first. It's very simple, very easy to understand. There are three types of members in the house. Either you belong to a party, BJP member, Congress member, BJD member, TMC member, right? A DMK member, or you are an independent candidate, meaning you don't belong to any party. You contested on your own and won also. And number three, you are nominated member, that is 12 MPs from Rajya Sabha. Three categories. Category number one, if you belong to a political party, then what happens? A member of a house belonging to any political party becomes disqualified for being a member of that house if he voluntarily gives up his membership of such political party. Meaning what? The moment you give up your membership. So today, if Amit Shah resigns from BJP, he will be disqualified from being a member of the house also. If today Shashi Tharoor resigns from Congress, he'll also be disqualified from being an MP in the Lok Sabha. So you cannot leave your party after getting elected. You'll be disqualified. You'll have to go and contest elections again. Okay. Number two. Now, there is a concept called whip. What is the meaning of this word called whip? See, whip basically means instruction. Issued by a party to its members to vote in a particular direction. What is the meaning of this? This means that the political party, Congress or BJP, will inform all its people, guys, you have to vote in favor of the bill. Guys, you have to vote against the bill. And you have to vote in favor or against the bill. It's mandatory. That is called whip. Whip also is the person who is in charge, is also called a whip. So, for example, let's say there is a bill called Triple Talaq Bill. Triple Talaq Bill. On this bill, BJP has told all its members, please vote yes. So, as a BJP party member and an MP, you have to come on that day, you have to vote and you have to press the yes button. You can't press the no button. I hope I'm getting through you, right? And let's say you are from Indian National Congress and Congress has said vote for no. So you have to always press the no button. Now, you will be disqualified if he votes or abstains from voting. If you votes contrary to any direction issued by the party, meaning if the party said vote no and you are voting yes, or you are abstaining from voting, if the party has told you please come and vote and you are absent on that day. Now, let's say the voting will take place on 27th of March and you have to come and vote yes. And what if on 27th of March you are seriously ill, you are in a coma, you can't come crawling there and press the yes button and then die there only. That will not be justified. So yes, there will be some exceptions. What if at that time of voting, you have some urgent issue, you want to attend nature's call and you are out, you have gone to the washroom and suddenly voting started, right? That, say, there are some genuine reasons. What if you are sitting there about to press the yes button and some Congress worker comes, presses the red button and runs away from there quickly? Maybe possible. This won't happen, don't worry. But what if this happens? So in that case, if by chance you did not vote in favor of the party's whip or you are absent on that day, you have to inform the party that, boss, you told me to vote, but I could not come because I was injured, I was not well, I had to watch some new release. Pathan got released on Amazon Prime. I was watching that only, wasting my time. So please forgive me. I could not come. If the party forgives you, within 15 days, then it's okay, no problem. Such act has not been condoned. If the party does not forgive you, what is condone? Condone means to forgive. If the party does not forgive you within 15 days, you vote against the party, or if the party has told you come and vote and you are not coming only or voting against the party direction, you can be disqualified. This is applicable to people who are members of the house. I hope this point is clear. Now, whip can be of multiple types, though it is not of any use. And this concept of whip is not mentioned in the Indian Constitution, mind you. Whip not mentioned in the Constitution. It is actually borrowed from UK. Now, whip can be of three kinds. This information is not really important, but I'm still mentioning it here. Single line whip or one line whip. Information on date of voting, meaning the party will tell all its MPs that on 27th of March voting will take place. If you want to come, come. If you want to vote, vote. Nobody cares. I am just informing you. Now we have a double line whip or a two line whip, same thing. Information on date of voting plus mandatory, meaning compulsory to attend, or vote, meaning what? I am informing you that on 27th of March, voting will take place and you better come and vote. Yes or no, that's your choice, but you have to come and vote. Okay. Then finally, we have a triple line or a three line whip, which means both these things plus direction of voting to be followed. Meaning what? Not only will I be telling you on the date of voting, not only will I be telling you that you have to come, you also have to vote in the direction in which I am asking you to vote. This is triple line whip. So normally the triple line whip is the most serious one, wherein the party tells you that please come and vote and press the yes button, and then you press the no button. You can be disqualified. You can be disqualified. Why? Because the party has the option to forgive you in 15 days. What if you are colorblind only? You say green, red, I got confused. What to do? I got nervous. I by mistake pressed the wrong button. It may happen, right? That's it. Okay. Now case 2. If you are an independent member, now what the hell is this independent member? Independent member means an MP in the house who is not a member of any party. MPs, MLAs, MLCs, not members of any party. This is what is an independent member. Now, an independent member of the house, if you have not joined any party and you win the election, right? After winning the election, you cannot join any party. If you join any party, disqualified. Where do you vote? Your choice. You can vote for BJP, vote for Congress, nobody cares. But officially, you cannot join any party. If you wanted to join, you should have joined before contesting elections. After winning the seat, you cannot join any party officially. If you join, disqualified. Okay. And lastly, the nominated members. These are the 12 MPs in the Rajya Sabha. Now think of this nomination for a moment. Think of Ilayaraja or PT Usha. Now, PT Usha, Asian Games gold medalist, great athlete, right? Country's pride. Is she a politician? No. Does she have, I mean, we are not sure, but we don't really believe that she has much knowledge of politics. But now she's a member of Rajya Sabha. Tell me something. What if she wants to join some party? Now, see, these independent candidates, these people, they are actually politicians. They had contested elections and they did not join any party. But PT Usha was suddenly made a member. She has no political background. Mary Kom, Sachin Tendulkar, Ilayaraja, all these people. So my point is, if I have become MP of Rajya Sabha suddenly, please give me some chance to go through various party manifestos, party programs, policies, right? And if I want to join any party, allow me to join a party, at least for some time. Give me a small window. I want to study about various parties and I want to join some party. That's what I want. Fair enough. So, if you are a nominated member, you are given 6 months of window from the date of you taking the seat, date on which you take your seat. 6 months of time is given. 6 months of time is given. Within the first 6 months, you can join any party you want, just once. That's it. If you join any party, no problem. You can't leave the party now. You can't change parties. Today I'll try BJP, tomorrow Congress. No. You join any party. Okay. The moment you join any party, that's it. Or after 6 months are over, now you can't join any party. So a nominated member of a house becomes disqualified for being a member of the house if he joins any political party. Very important keyword. After the expiry of 6 months. So in the first 6 months small window, you can join any party you want. After the expiry of that window, so sorry, you cannot join any party. Okay, that is there with respect to nominated members. Okay, so I think I have clarified this point. Why independent members don't get a chance to join and why nominated get a chance to join? Because people who are nominated are not politicians. We have to give them an opportunity to join a party if they want to. But independent members, they are politicians. So they did not get a ticket only, right? And that is why they contested. And then they cannot join any party. Okay. So this is there. One more thing. Independent members or these nominated members, if they don't join a party, they are free to vote in any direction. So one thing, don't be confused. Free to vote in any direction. They are not under any party, so no whip is applicable on these people. Okay, that's there. So this is the provision for disqualification. This is how people are disqualified. Now there are some exceptions. One exception is something we have already seen. Tell me the exception we have seen. We have seen the exception of we have seen the exception of presiding officers. Presiding officers, of course, the chairman of Rajya Sabha is not a member of any house, but deputy chairperson is, deputy speaker is. So presiding and deputy presiding officers have an exception. What is the exception? They can leave their party. Can resign from their party. Just resignation. Don't think today I resign, tomorrow I'll join back. No, once you resign, you can't join now. So today Om Birla can resign from his party and that's it. He can stay continue to be a member of the House. But if Amit Shah wants to resign from BJP, he cannot resign from BJP. If he resigns, he'll have to be removed from the post of a member of parliament also. But Om Birla can resign and continue to be the member of the House. Okay. Second, a member of a House shall not be disqualified. Please, these are exceptions. Not be disqualified if his original party has merged with some other party. Merged with some other party, and he or she has become member of such new party formed after merger. So what is this merger? Merge means at least 2/3, or I'll write the word legislator. Legislators merge. 2/3 legislators. For example, let us say Indian National Congress has how many MPs in Lok Sabha? 51 MPs in Lok Sabha. If Indian National Congress here, 2/3, 34. If 34 MPs of Indian National Congress leave Congress and join BJP, they will not be disqualified. Am I clear on this? If 2/3 members of a party leave their party and join some other party, they can't form an independent party. No. They have to join some other party. The whole point here is merger. Merge with some other party. They will not be disqualified. And what happens to the remaining 17 people? The remaining 17, are they disqualified? They are also not disqualified. Why? Because it says if you have not accepted the merger and opted to function as a separate group, you will also not be disqualified. No problem. So if your party members leave in a large group, 2/3, then it's okay. See, very interesting law, right? If an individual leaves a party, disqualified. If a large group leaves together, not disqualified. Retail defection is not allowed. Wholesale defection is allowed. What kind of nonsense is this? So this is a very strange provision. And you may feel, sir, what is the problem? I mean, 2/3 people. Now see, lot of parties only have 2-3 MPs in the Lok Sabha. Let's say some party has only 3 MPs in the Lok Sabha, just 3 MPs. How many do you need to purchase? You have to purchase only 2 MPs. And they will not be disqualified. As simple as that. Because out of 3 MPs of that party, 2 have shifted. 2/3 have shifted. Not disqualified. This actually, as a provision, was something different. So just to point this out, originally, merger was split. Split was allowed, meaning parties could split and remain independent, and 2 parties could be created, and both party members would be allowed to be legislators. Now you have to leave your party and merge with some other party. And merger is how much? 2/3. Split was how much? 1/3. This was the original provision. And this was changed via 91st Amendment Act 2003. So let me explain. Earlier what used to happen was, if there is a party, say Congress, only in this example, 51 MPs are there. If 1/3 MPs of Congress, 17 MPs, leave Congress and form a separate party, this they will call their party New Congress Party, or Hoshiar Congress Party, Best Congress Party. They form a new party called Best Congress Party. This was allowed. They would not disqualified. But now, if they do this, they will be disqualified, because you cannot leave your group and form a separate group. You have to merge with some other party. That is called merger. I hope this point is clear. Okay. Now, to just point out a very simple example that you may try to relate, though it is not related to this point actually. Uh, the point I am trying to make is the case of Maharashtra. So, in Maharashtra, what has happened is that after the elections. So, what happened after the elections? After the elections, we had BJP winning 105 seats. So, I'll just write some points to, though this example is not applicable here, but I'm just clarifying it. It's a separate case. We'll discuss this under Election Commission. But just to tell you how minute the details are. In Maharashtra, it is a 288 MLA Legislative Assembly. Okay. So before the elections, BJP and Shiv Sena, they said we are contesting together as one unit. BJP won 105 seats. Shiv Sena won 56 seats, if I'm not wrong. Then some other parties like NCP, Indian National Congress, they also won some seats. NCP, I think, won 54 seats. And Congress won 44 seats. But 288, what is the number required? 145, more than half. These two could form the government. They had a number, but they were fighting that no, 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 no. I want CM post. I want CM post. So that was there. Finally, what happened? Shiv Sena said, sorry, we will form the government. And they formed the government, calling this as MVA, Maha Vikas Agadi. But then what happened? There has been not a split in Shiv Sena. Now see, the problem is both parties are claiming that I am the real Shiv Sena. No, of course, Election Commission has given an interim decision that Eknath Shinde's Shiv Sena is the real Shiv Sena. But when it comes to Shiv Sena, no party is claiming that I have left Shiv Sena. Both groups, there are two groups in Shiv Sena. One group is Eknath Shinde. The other group is, of course, Uddhav Thackeray. So, Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray, that is what their party is now called, SHS UBT. So, Uddhav Thackeray, he claims that he is the real Shiv Sena. Mind you, please. They both are claiming that I am the Shiv Sena. Who the hell are you? Right? Now, Eknath Shinde had the support of 40 MLAs, and Uddhav Thackeray had the support of 17 MLAs. So we had one MLA dying, and then Shiv Sena had one more seat. So they had become 57 actually. So that is there. So as of now, what has happened? BJP. Now let's use black. BJP and Eknath Shinde, they have joined hands together. So BJP has 106 now. Eknath Shinde has 40 now. Some others have also supported. And now I think 167 MLAs are there to form the government, which is running in Maharashtra. This is not a case of anti-defection law, because nobody has defected. Eknath Shinde has not left Shiv Sena. Uddhav Thackeray has not left Shiv Sena. They are both claiming to be the real Shiv Sena. Okay. And Election Commission has given a decision as of now that you please form a separate unit, because any any party split or merger is decided by Election Commission only. So this is the real problem there. It is not defection. Please don't be confused. It is not defection. It is just the claim that I am the real Shiv Sena. That is a difference. Okay. So this is there with respect to Maharashtra. We'll discuss this again today, and also when we study election commission. To give you an example of defection, what is an example of defection, which would be hilarious? We'll come to that example of defection, because for that we need to also tell you that after all this happens, we are saying that you will be disqualified, but somebody has to disqualify you, right? Where is the proof? Who disqualifies? Who decides that I have left my party and joined some other party? I have voted against my party. Who disqualifies? Party cannot disqualify an MP, right? MP is a constitutional post. How can a party, which is an informal group, disqualify an MP? So for that, the power to disqualify, the deciding authority in the country is the who? The presiding officer. The presiding officer is the deciding authority. He decides. So the presiding officer will decide as to what is going to happen with respect to the disqualification. So the deciding authority for all other aspects, Article 102, Clause 1, that is citizenship, bankruptcy, unsound mind, etc., is the president. But Article 102, Clause 2, the deciding authority is the presiding officer. Presiding officer. And the provision says that decision is final, cannot be challenged also. You will say it's okay, no problem. But I'll tell you a problem. Let us say BJP has 271 MPs and BJP needs one more MP in favor to form the government. BJP asks Shashi Tharoor, that guy, hello sir, please join BJP, come on. He says, okay, I'll join BJP. Make me the English vocabulary minister. Okay, we'll make you a new minister. No problem. He becomes the minister. Now, Congress party will go and complain to Speaker, Mr. Om Birla, that sir, see what has happened. Shahi Tharoor has joined BJP. Disqualify him, disqualify him. Om Birla says, no, I won't. Get lost. My decision is final. Speaker can also take wrong decisions. That is why in the Kyoto-Holohan case, 1992, Supreme Court said, see, nothing is final until we say so. And Supreme Court said in this particular judgment that decision of presiding officer is subject to what? Judicial review. So, no longer final and is open to judicial review since 1992. That part is there. You will say, amazing, what a great judgment. Problem solved. Of course, of course. But my simple question is, look at this very example of Om Birla. Now, imagine you are Om Birla and Congress comes to you and says, sir, please disqualify Shashi Tharoor. He has left Congress and has joined BJP. Disqualify him. As a speaker, you know very well that if I say no, I will not disqualify you, then Congress can go to High Court, Supreme Court and can reverse my decision. Then what is the point? You want to help your party BJP and say, no, I don't want to disqualify Shashi Tharoor. But you know very well, if you don't disqualify him, Congress will approach the High Court, Supreme Court and will say, sir, wrong decision, please check. And Supreme Court and High Court will interfere. What do? The best thing is, don't take a decision only. As a speaker, you say, sir, I'll decide. Show me facts. What has happened? Is he not coming to your party meetings? Is he not responding to good morning texts? Why are you saying he's disqualified? He's joined BJP. Show me proof. I'll study the proof. You're taking time. The problem is, No time frame has been mentioned within which the presiding officer has to decide. This is the biggest loophole in this law. As Om Birla, I will not take a decision only, because what will you go and challenge in the court? A decision. I will not take a decision only. The court will not tell me take decision. Do I tell the court give judgment immediately tomorrow? Of course not. The court cannot force me into taking a decision. The court can only challenge my decision or question my decision. But if I don't take a decision only, I say I am waiting, I have headache right now, migraine issues, please don't disturb me, right? I'm having lunch, dinner, family function, house to attend to, please don't disturb me. I'll decide. And I decide after 5 years. Then what's the point? Right? So that is the biggest loophole in this law. Now, one very interesting example of this loophole that was misused by our great politicians was the classic case of West Bengal. In West Bengal, you'll be surprised, Biman Banerjee has been the speaker since 2011, that is since Mamata Banerjee has come to power. Since 2011, 35 to 40 MLAs have defected from various parties, from left parties, BJP, etc., to Congress, to TMC. How many have been disqualified? Zero. Not a single person was disqualified. This is nothing. There was a person called Mukul Roy. Mukul Roy was very close to Mamata Banerjee. You could call him as a second in command of TMC. But somehow Mukul Roy got this feeling that, being in TMC, I'll always be second in command. I can never do anything in West Bengal. Didi will always be above me. So maybe because of this perception, he joined BJP. He was from TMC, he joined BJP. But the performance of BJP in West Bengal received a thorough thrashing by TMC and lost the election. Though they improved their seats, but they lost the election. And because of this, Mamata Banerjee became the chief minister. Now Mukul Roy was an MLA from opposition. Had he been in TMC, he would have been at least some minister. He is nothing now. Slowly he realized, oh, I made a mistake. Now Mukul Roy, because if you resign from the party membership and join TMC, you'll be disqualified. So Mukul Roy, what he did was, he started attending TMC meetings. Officially, he did not resign. He kept on attending TMC meetings. BJP said, sir, BJP went to speaker, saying, what the hell is this? He is our MLA. He never comes to our meeting. He always goes to TMC meetings. He's attending party rallies and all, right? He has blocked all of us on WhatsApp. I mean, not this, but maybe. And he is replying to all the texts of TMC party workers. What the hell is this? We are feeling bad. You disqualify him. Speaker did not decide only. BJP went to the court, High Court, because of a certain aspect. Now, that this is wrong. You have to decide. High Court said, by 7th of October 2021, Mr. Speaker, decide. Speaker remained silent. On the 7th of October, Speaker challenged the High Court order in Supreme Court, saying, how dare the High Court give me a time frame? You can't give me such orders. This matter is pending in Supreme Court, and Speaker said, give me some time, Supreme Court to respond. Why I'm not deciding? Supreme Court asked, after all, why are you not deciding? Tell us reasons. Speaker said, give me some time. February happened, March happened, April, May, June. Finally, on the 8th of June, the Speaker decided and said, Mukul Roy is not disqualified. Now the BJP MLAs are trying to file a case in High Court against this matter. It is still pending, so let's see what happens. This is the reality of our country, anti-defection law. And when one TMC leader was asked by the press that, sir, what is this? Mukul Roy is attending your party meetings and he is not disqualified. So the TMC leader, I don't want to name him, he said that Mukul is in BJP, but TMC is a large-hearted party. I am quoting almost verbatim. So he says that TMC is a large-hearted party. If an old friend comes at our doorstep, we'll always welcome him and give him water. This is what you're doing. In the garb of controlling power, your speaker will never decide. If anybody has joined your party, the government, the speaker will never decide against him. That is a big problem. And this issue also came up, which became a part of very famous judgment in 2020. A hilarious case. This was a case in Manipur. So what happened in Manipur was that 2017 elections took place. Y. Khemchand, who is now a minister there, became a speaker. Y. Khemchand was the speaker. Lot of MLAs defected from other parties to BJP and he did not disqualify anyone. Not just this, some MLAs were made ministers also. Classic example, T. Shyam Kumar. T. Shyam Kumar joined BJP, no decision was taken on his disqualification and he was made a minister also. This matter finally went to Supreme Court, and Supreme Court in the Kesham Meghchandra Singh case 2020 gave a judgment. Firstly, Supreme Court cancelled this person's post, disqualified him, and Supreme Court issued an order. T. Shyam Kumar should not be found in the vicinity of the assembly. This is what happens. When you don't respect your power and misuse your power, so you are inviting the courts to interfere and then you will shout court is interfering. Why did not disqualify him? And court is giving orders that don't you be seen there. Right? So this became a result of, the result was the Kesham Meghchandra Singh case, wherein Supreme, oh, there is a small error here. My bad. This date. This is not 1992, of course. The year is 2020. Okay. So in this particular judgment, Supreme Court said that the courts can fix a time limit. Point 1. Courts can fix time limit for presiding officer to decide. And the court has actually fixed a time limit. What is the time limit? The court said in this particular judgment, decide within 3 months in absence of exceptional circumstance. Within 3 months in absence of special or exceptional. Let's write the word exactly used by the court. Exceptional circumstance. Now you will feel your judgment is great, problem solved. Not really. What is this exceptional circumstance? Court says, speakers, please decide in 3 months. If there is no exceptional circumstance, you should decide in 3 months. And the speakers always say, sir, exceptional circumstance. I am too busy. I can't decide in 3 months. That is what happened in case of West Bengal. Biman Banerjee said, I am too busy. I can't decide in 3 months. So we need a proper law. We need to modify the 10 schedule to fix a time frame for speaker. Otherwise, this law is useless. We are seeing people being bought here and there, horse trading at its peak, and eventually what happens? Nothing. We are all left to just wait and watch. Eventually 5 years are over, and then the tenure is over. Then the person leaves the party, joins the other party in contest elections. That's the sad part here of ADL. The law is there, it's there, it works, but because of the presiding officer's behavior, we find that people are being disqualified. That is why it is very, very important to have a very independent presiding officer, right? So it is, I mean, the more the independent the presiding officer is, the more fair will be the functioning in the house. This is bound to be there. And that is why it is mandatory for the presiding officers to be fair, independent, and impartial. Right? Okay. So let's do one thing. Let's take a quick break. I mean, not a quick break, a long break. And we'll be back at 3:40 to begin our session for the second session for the day. And let me just see. Okay. So leaderboard remains intact. Manish Kumar at the top, 120. Deepak with 100. Dhaval 90. Kishan 80. Gira 80. Priyanka 80. VS Uday Kumar 80. Others follow. That's there for our today's leaderboard before the session. Let's end our discussion now, guys. Be back after the break. Break till 3:40 p.m. Break, please, guys.